20,000 housing units, 3 cities, 1 governor holding a shovel. This week in Westchester, the housing pipeline stopped being a promise and started being a groundbreaking. And the numbers tell a very different story than the press releases suggest. This is the Friday Intel. Let's go deeper. Welcome to the Friday Intel from I Live Here Westchester. Every Friday, we go deeper on one data story that affects your life in Westchester County. This week, what 20,000 new housing units actually does and does not do for the place you live. On Wednesday, Governor Kathy Hochul stood in Port Chester and announced the official groundbreaking of Westchester Crossing, a 957-unit project on the site of the old United Hospital campus. That building closed in 2004. For 22 years, that land sat empty. This week, it stopped being empty. Here is the data. Between Yonkers, New Rochelle, and White Plains alone, approximately 20,000 housing units are currently under development, approved, or coming online. Add the 957 units that broke ground in Port Chester this week, and the number climbs higher. Second, White Plains alone accounts for nearly 7,000 of those units. That is one city. One city building the equivalent of a small town. The District Galleria project, if it clears its next approval, adds roughly 3,200 more to that number. Third, Yonkers is moving at an even larger scale. A single developer, AMS Acquisitions, has more than 4,000 units planned across 3 adjacent sites near the Metro North Station. The Parker, a 16-story, all-affordable building on South Broadway, adds another 160 units. A 208-unit mixed-use project near the Ludlow Station is targeting completion this year. Fourth, New Rochelle is adding density in Signature Towers, 414 units at 260 North Avenue. 805 units across 2 towers at 466 Main Street. A new ARC luxury tower is already in leasing. Fifth, across all of it, the median Westchester home value, according to Zillow, is roughly $842,000, up 5.6% year over year, with homes moving to pending in 29 days. Half of Westchester residents spend more than 30% of their income on housing. Here is what caught me off guard when I dug into this. 20,000 sounds like relief. It is not. Look at what is actually being built. At Westchester Crossing, 957 units break down to 358 studios, 456 one-bedrooms, and just 143 two-bedrooms. 105 are designated affordable. That is roughly 11%. Across the broader pipeline, the mix skews heavily studio and one-bedroom, heavily premium rental, and the affordable share typically lands between 10 and 15%. If you are a family of 4 looking for a 3-bedroom house, the pipeline does not touch your market. If you are trying to buy, the pipeline does not touch your market. Almost none of this is for-sale product. And Bisno has already reported that developers themselves are hesitating as the absorption math gets tighter. 20,000 units, and the people who need housing the most in Westchester are still looking at the same problem they had 6 months ago. What does this mean for you? If you live in Yonkers, New Rochelle, or White Plains and you rent, you will have more options this year and next. Vacancy may loosen. Concessions may come back. That is real. If you own a home anywhere in Westchester, do not expect the pipeline to pull your values down. The product mix is different from what you own, and the buyer pool for single-family homes is not touching these buildings. If you are a young professional on the train line, your selection set just got much larger. Read the amenity packages carefully and read the lease terms even more carefully. If you are looking for a family-sized home on a budget, the pipeline is not your answer. Your answer is still ownership turnover in the towns, and that is a separate conversation the county is not having with the same energy. That is your Friday Intel. If this was useful, share it with someone who lives here. I'll see you Monday on the Westchester Brief. I'm Jim, and I live here.